I'm Shane Mercer. This is a Millions interview, and I am here with Ebanie Bridges, the blonde bomber from Australia. Ebanie, how are you feeling heading into this really big fight on March 26th?
I'm excited. I'm feeling pumped. Not long now, just over a week. Yeah, I feel like everything's come together, and I'm just excited to go out there.
3 years ago, when you were first making your professional debut, where did you see your career going at that time?
I started boxing. I had my first amateur fight 5 years ago, and I was only an amateur for 2 years. That was because I mainly never really wanted to be an amateur. I really didn't have much interest in amateur boxing, but I suppose maybe thinking like smartly, like I need some practice right before I go into the pros and start throwing around that 8-ounce with no headgear on. But yeah, I was very excited to turn professional because I just wanted to get in there and just smash people up, honestly. Like in the amateurs, like a lot of the fights would get stopped early, and I've always I just want to finish them and stuff.
So you just really wanted to brawl?
Yeah, I just liked hitting people, and hurting things, and and that sounds really sadistic, but no, honestly, I wanted to knock people out, you know what I mean? In the amateurs, it's different. You give them a straight shot, and they're always stopping the fights for me. I had 30 amateur fights, 26 wins, and 11 stoppages. Doesn't seem like much, but in the amateurs, half my wins were stopped early, but for me, I felt like I wanted to keep going. Just bashing people up, Well,
you've been pretty good at it. I mean, here you are now.
Yeah.
This will be your 9th fight. You got 8 fights under your belt, 7-1, 3 knockouts. You did have that one fight with the loss. Take me back to that moment. That was your first shot at a title.
Yeah, well, that fight, I got a phone call off Eddie 4 weeks before the fight, asking me if I wanted to have a crack, obviously because I'd already built such a big following in the UK, so I had big fans over here, and there was already a rivalry between me and Shannon, so when the opportunity came knocking, of course I was going to say yes. And I flew straight from Australia to Philadelphia. I did 3 weeks in Philadelphia, adjusted there, and then had to fly to the UK and was there, so it was a lot of jet setting around. It was a great opportunity for me. I loved the fight. It was a fun fight for me. I had one eye, and you could still see I was smiling because I just love that kind of fight.
A lot of fighters will always say that they want to take away a learning experience from the loss.
To me, obviously it was a loss on my record, but it wasn't a loss. I think if anything, I won with that fight big time. Everyone was talking about the blonde bomber after, and obviously my fan base grew because people actually saw that I'm more than big boobs and lingerie, and that I can actually fight, and I think that really solidified it. And not just that, I can fight, and I fight hard. I have heart as well, and I don't quit. I was blind for those last 3 rounds, and I just kept going, and I think that obviously earns a lot of respect from fans, and people like to see that stuff. So it was definitely a win for me.
Well, we know you're going to get the W coming up on March 26th.
Yeah.
We're all rooting for you here at the Millions team, but tell me a little bit about Maria Cecilia Roman and this second opportunity that you're getting at a world title.
A couple of years ago, I seen a fight, and I'm I'd love to have that fight because I like to have good fights. I was a boxing fan before I was a boxer, you know what I mean? And I just like to have good fights. And she was the kind of fighter, that she'll sit there and she'll go toe to toe and sit in the pocket with you, proper, South American styles. And they're the kind of fights that I like, and I haven't been able to have much of that kind of fight. They don't really sit and trade with me. I get really excited about that fight with her because I'm this could be a fight. But she also can box as well. She's the longest reigning champion in the division. She's been, I think, a champ for over 5 years. This will be her 8th title defense. The highest rated, longest reigning, most experienced champion in the division. God willing, I believe that I win that fight. I think for me it would be, even more of an achievement in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. You've changed up your training a little bit, and you've teamed up with Mark Tibbs. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, like I said, my first world title fight, I jet setted around 3 countries in 3 weeks. Here in the UK, I fight here. My biggest fan base is here. So it just made sense for me to get here and settle and train with the trainer here and just cut out all that other stuff that wasn't necessary. My trainers in America are amazing. I just think that just for me to try and just get that little bit more of an edge and not have these little things that could be detrimental, it was very important for me to do my whole camp here, and obviously to team up with someone like Mark Tibbs, who has so much experience in high-level fights, and also his father, Jimmy Tibbs, which is a history of experience here. So I'm feeling very confident. I've learned a lot, and I'm really excited to pull it all and show for everyone.
Yeah, well, I know that, we're looking forward to it. I think a lot of the fans are looking forward to it. What would you say the fans can expect?
Excitement. It's always going to be exciting. Cecilia Roman's a great fighter. She's a great champion, and I know she'll be coming there just to keep her belt as well. So we're both fighting for our lives, our futures.
I want to ask you about something else, not fight related, or maybe it is related to your training in some way. SAS Australia. Now, for a lot of us, in North America may have no idea what this is. So just give me an idea of what is SAS Australia?
So the SAS is like the Australian or British version of SEALs. You know what I mean? So they're your special forces, kind of, you know, the elite of the elite. And what it is it's a show that gets celebrities, and they put us through like that kind of training for 2 weeks every day. And yeah, it's just about, you know, putting you through all this like army training and like obviously learning about yourself, like mentally and physically, and pushing through pain, pushing through barriers, pushing through all kinds of things, fears, you know, a lot of fears. It's just overcoming things and making you quit. That's what their goal is, to make you quit, really. It's kind of whoever makes it to the end wins, right? So it's pretty much torturing us for 2 weeks.
Sounds both very intense and kind of terrible. Like, why would you want to do this?
Hey, I'm a sucker for pain. I like get punched in the face for a living. No, but I know I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love pushing myself. I love challenging myself. I just wanted to test myself outside of the boxing ring and see if I had the same tenacity and the same no quit attitude outside of the ring, which I do.
So then tell me, how would you describe your performance? Were you happy? Did you know, were you pushed to your limits?
Yeah. Definitely was pushed. Yeah. I think the hardest part for me about the whole course was the first couple of days was a little bit emotional for me, failing stuff. For example, like a task they'll ask you to do, right? And I've obviously never done it before because it's not what I do. And then I might not do it right, or I might not do it perfect. Like that really got to me, because I can fail and I can lose, but in boxing or in life, you can get up and try again. But with these ones, it was like, you get one shot. And then if you don't get it done, it's like, well, that's it. You can't go in the next day and go, well, I'll do it better. And they were like, you know, you haven't done all this stuff, Ebanie. Like, you know, you can't be perfect at it. Like, you've literally never done it before. I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's not good enough. Because a lot of the other people were just like, but you did it, you know, and you're still here. And they'll be like, you know, I'm just happy that I'm still here. I thought I would have quit. And I'm like, well, I know that I don't quit. I knew that I'd still be here. And I knew that I would do everything that they put in front of me, that I would attempt it. So me just attempting it, or me just being here, isn't good enough, because I already knew that I would do that. It was like, I wanted to be good at it. You know what I mean? After the first couple of days and all that kind of stuff, just getting my head around, you know, not being perfect at everything, then I was all right. But no, it was great. It was really good. Some amazing stories, and just how motivating they are. They're incredible humans, and it was great to be, you know, be yelled at by them, but at the same time, you learn a lot.
What would you say that you learned, or what did you learn about yourself?
Don't be so hard on myself. I'm really hard on myself. Really, really hard on myself. You know, I'm just like that. And if I wasn't, I feel like I wouldn't be constantly pushing to be better. I'm never complacent. I always got the underdog mentality. There was some people on there that obviously they're not like athletes and they're not boxers, and they wouldn't usually go through adversity or push themselves. I push myself in my fights, in my training all the time. So I'm always got that mindset that like, it's in your head. Like I snapped my ankle on my pro debut. I snapped my ankle and I got up and I kept fighting for another 3 rounds. You know, and I had surgery. I was out for 8 months. But that was a mindset thing. I'm like, it's pain, just block it out and just get the fight done. And I couldn't walk after, you know. But normal people, or some people wouldn't maybe do that. Their bodies are breaking and their mind's telling them to quit. But then they push through that. They realize, hey, it is in your mind. Your body can go so much further than your head's telling you. So it's just definitely great. Try and push yourself beyond your mind, you know.
You just joined our platform, Millions,
yes.
You know, not too long ago, last month. But, you know, just overall, what's your experience been like so far?
Amazing. You know, you guys are so good, so supportive, and just like you've got such a big network of people from all over, you know, all different sports. And it's just great to be part of such a kind of innovative platform that's, you know, wanting to do things for athletes and wanting to do things for athletes' fans, you know, the fans as well, getting us to connect with our fans. So I'm really excited to push it more forward and get more people on board.
Well, you know, we're excited to have you, and wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's get it.